Hi friends, this is Chris.
And Yuji.
Welcome back to the channel. So, as we talked about earlier today, we had the biggest IT crash in history. Yeah, it's crazy. And that was CrowdStrike, basically the cybersecurity company. Everything went down. Like multiple industries, you couldn't use the bank, you couldn't travel. You couldn't shop. So there's like Amazon, all kinds of things. And we're going to have this conversation about this, like what this means going forward. And I want to talk about AI, which is the hot topic, and robotaxi. So
it's our future.
Yeah, well, theoretically, that's the question. So first question is, are we all going to use AI workers? Like if I said, Yeji, you're going to have a company, and your office is going to be all, well, no one, just AI. Is that a company that you would foresee like wanting to have? No people.
No people, but I think that's the has it to start as the employee perspective.
As a what?
Employee.
As a
worker. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't want to AI take over my job, right?
Right. From the employee perspective, yeah. I don't want AI to take my job. But you think the bosses are thinking they want to just hire a bunch of computers, basically?
Instead of, like 10 people, just one computer.
Yeah, because people complain.
Yeah, they're not gonna late, and they don't need lunchtime.
No lunch.
They don't have vacation.
No bathrooms, right?
Yeah, no bathroom.
Okay, so Yeji's more the mean person. She's coming from the boss perspective of like, kick out all the people.
Boss, yeah.
No, yeah. So the workers would care about getting replaced by AI, and the boss is like, can I replace? Well, we certainly saw this with, say, car factories or whatever. You put as many robots on the factory line because it saves money. But we've yet, even though we have the technology, we've yet to really put robots in every part. So I'll give you a simple example. So right now, it depends how you define what a robot is. So, for example, we have a dishwasher in a restaurant. So certainly you lost the job of someone washing dishes, right? And this is kind of these kind of innovations are in any industry. Another example, someone wrote in the comments today was that making steel industry. In the past, maybe the steel mill would need 60 people to do something, and now you need 10. You need less people because you're more efficient, right? The machinery, etc., right? But AI is an interesting one because, in my opinion, after we saw today, I think we're way too dependent on computers. Way too dependent.
Yeah, but I think it's only getting bigger.
The AI situation? Yeah.
Today's accident was the biggest history because we never had this
many AI. Yeah.
But I think it's only getting bigger.
So from your perspective, because she's Korean, thankfully, thankfully not for her. When we live here in Korea and we have to do customer service kind of stuff, I just let Yeji call. When we're in USA, I do all the calling. But so when you call a bank or a company, do you get a person? Or do you have a robot?
We do have both. So now we do.
Do you have an option? Is it like one for robot, two for person?
Yeah. Or? So we don't say robot. One for that you want the mobile, just text.
Oh, okay. We don't have that option, you say, from my knowledge.
If you want the person.
Are you texting a person though, or are you texting a robot?
I think it's robot.
Yeah, robots are pretty good at texting though. Because they ask you a question, you type it in, and they'll ask you a couple more questions. Okay, so
it's not perfect, so I'm still prefer person.
Oh, you want to talk to person?
Yeah.
How long does it take to wait in Korea for?
It depends on. Actually, it's a lot depends on the company. Because who has a big call center,
Right.
It's easier to get to the person. But
and actually, this is a funny topic because I don't know. When it comes to call centers, do they hire people that don't live in Korea? That speak Korean? Because it's possible.
Yeah,
it's possible, right?
So that is, different than America. Because for America, they just need to speak English, right?
So they can live in, do you know?
Maybe Philippines, Africa, South Africa. But Korea is, still just Korea. So most of the call center in Korea.
It is Korea. Oh, okay.
But they can hire, some foreigner who can speak Korean.
Do they do that ever?
But it's really hard.
Oh, it's really hard. So for us, the big countries are India or I think Philippines. There might be others out there. Those are the two big ones that I'm aware of. I don't live in USA, so I don't call companies. Actually, I try to avoid as much as I can. But I was curious because when we go travel sometimes to various places, like for example Philippines, or even Bali or even Vietnam, they have people who can speak Korean pretty well. You say their accent. So theoretically, as I said, theoretically there could be a call center, but you don't think that's not?
Not yet.
So there's still Korean, the call centers. Interesting.
Korean in Korea.
Yeah. Going back to the AI thing, from your friend's perspective, are they using your chat GPTs? And actually you have a cousin who's in programming and coding. I think we have, I don't know, 3 or 4 or 3 cousins that are in computers, is that correct? 2 for 3. And I think it's cybersecurity actually. So so he knows what ChatGPT and stuff, they use it in Korean. Well, it's not really Korean per se, it's coding is all English and numbers essentially.
It's all coding the C language.
But do you know if people are actually already paying the monthly fee and subscribing to your chat GPTs? You're not sure.
We don't really say, I'm so subscribed to ChatGPT. We don't really.
Yeah, USA, it's been a big thing. People use it to write emails, and in fact, because I don't know how ChatGPT is in Korean, but the funny thing that people always say is like when especially the meat camera guy, right? What's that? Yeah.
I'm not sure these days college students they write a report from ChatGPT.
I'm sure they do.
Yeah, so
I'm sure they're totally cheating on Chat.
I heard that
I'm sure they are.
Professor said don't use ChatGPT.
I'm 100% sure Korean students, because actually, if you guys don't know this, a lot of Korean universities, they have their students do their assignments in English. So depends on the class, but sometimes it's part English, part Korean. But yeah, it also depends on the English level of the professor. But many of the professors, the younger ones, can read totally fine. Speaking, it's off and on, but the upper university you go, like the highest level, you could have your full schedule in English here in Korea. But going back to that, I think 100% the students are going to be using, especially if English is not your first language. So it's funny that we're talking about this because there's a massive market for ChatGPT outside of outside of English-speaking countries, because assuming that ChatGPT's grammar is good, I think it would be. It's going to be very, very useful for writing essays.
Developing our own ChatGPT.
Okay.
And not just using yours.
Right.
Developing our own. So we do have our own system.
Because if you don't know, I mean, the Korean...
the Naver working on it.
Yeah. The Korean technology companies are fantastic. Yeah, Naver, what other companies?
Kakao, probably.
Kakao, Naver.
Kakao is part of Town, so those are 2 big companies.
Town's a search engine, they have a bunch. So the major search engines are Naver, Town. Is it just those 2?
Those 2.
There used to be Nate. What happened to Nate?
Fail?
So it doesn't exist. They didn't get bought out? Or?
No, it does exist. But people don't really use that for search engines. They're more for community.
And this goes back to another point, which we have a similar issue, and I think Crew is probably the same, because we were just talking about Nate failing. In the early days of the internet, because I'm old, I remember this, there used to be a lot of choices of search engines. Now, what's that?
Like Yahoo?
Yeah, well, we still have it, but no one really uses it anymore. So that used to be, I actually used to use Yahoo when I was younger a lot more. But anyway, there used to be a ton of companies out there. Or even like social media, there used to be a thing in Korea called, is it Natan? No. Cyworld.
Cyworld was part of the Nate.
Oh, Cyworld was, okay. Yeah, it was kind of like, back then we had MySpace, Vine, there's a bunch of different things. The reason why I'm bringing this up, guys, is fascinating because right now people are concerned about monopoly with Microsoft signed a deal with ChatGPT or OpenAI, and then Apple signed a deal with them. And so then it feels like, you've already picked the winner. So all these other, companies around the world have no chance. And so countries like Europe are way more strict on saying that's a monopoly. The Americans are way more bought off. You can pay a politician and they just be quiet. I wish I could say I was making joke, but
that's true.
It's not untrue. It's not untrue in any country in the world. If you have enough money, that's an unfortunate system. But I think we're bringing up the point though that Koreans are making their own AI things.
China does.
Oh, 100% they are.
Yeah.
Baidu's working on one. Alibaba's working on this stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, they totally are. The other thing too, talking about AI, so we established that there's going to be a market for it, right? I think though, the problem is that in the future, if you become too dependent on that, you can't write emails anymore yourself. You can't write a letter.
You can't even write.
Yeah, you can't even well, that's a problem today because we're all using computers. And that was a conversation that I've always liked to have is like, do we even need to do handwriting anymore if we have computers, right? Should you, like why even bother learn to use a pen and paper? Why even bother?
I think you don't really need a right? I think this helps your like brain.
Yeah, that's why you do it.
Yeah, using actual brain.
Yeah.
You're using your own neuron.
Yeah.
So actually many of my friends has a kid right now, so they're complaining that their kids doesn't know how to, when you're writing, you need space between the word, but they don't do it.
There's no space between the words?
They don't know how to do it.
Oh, interesting. I hadn't heard that. That's really funny.
Yeah, so it's kind of hard to teach them, correct their sentence.
You can't, because you could read the sentence, but it's better if you put proper spacing. Yeah. That is pretty funny. It's funny because like whenever we do these conversations with you guys, we get on all kinds of topics. But I think they all relate because like what the IT thing showed us is that we're really computer dependent. And so like if you live in a world where young people can't do handwriting anymore, like they can't even do contracts or they can't read anything. The other thing I wanted to mention too, like, and I was making fun of me, Kevin, before, but it's not just me, Kevin, it's a lot of people. They'll do all of their contracts, their websites, and everything's done by ChatGPT, their emails, and then everything sounds like the same.
Yeah.
There's nothing personal anymore about anything, and we can tell when it's by ChatGPT. It's just not personal. So
they gotta deep learning more.
Right. Theoretically, in the future, I can be like, oh, do I want Donald Trump English for my letter, or do I want Barack Obama English for my letter, right?
Or the writer stuff.
Oh yeah. So you could see, I was thinking personality of president, or you could do like, do I want J.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings style, or Frank Herbert Dune style writing, or Shakespeare writing?
So
Theoretically, you could do that.
Does the painting, does the
in certain styles, they do music in certain styles too. Yeah, that's actually pretty funny. I don't really use AI myself.
You did when it first came out.
I did. That's true. I use it to experiment. Like, what can it do for like the first week? And I made like a couple of videos on it. I'm like, hey, this stuff's really cool. But after the new, two things. The newness worn off, and then they want to charge you like a monthly fee after your trial. You got 30 days, trial. Well, I mean, of course, right? You're going to do it for free. You're going to try it, and they're like, oh, you want me to give you that much money to use it? I don't really need it that much. Now, theoretically, in the future, if prices come down, and so I'll give you an example. So I have Gmail like everyone else in the world, right? And they keep advertising there. It's called Gemini for Google. And you get like a 2-month trial, and you're like, okay, fine, right? And what happens is they bundle it with like more hard drive space, more photo stuff, like more. So I think eventually the AI stuff is just going to be part of it. It's like I'll give you an example, guys. Apple, they announced that they're going to be building AI into their future phones. And so if you want that, you're going to have to buy the more expensive phone.
Yeah.
And then eventually there's going to be no more cheap phone, and all the phones are going to have it. So I think we're going that way. Because like right now, if I said Yeji, I don't know, we have never talked about it. So like right now, we have the 13s, we both have the same phone. I like them because they're small. I'm waiting for do you want a flip phone, or is it just me?
Maybe fine.
But do you want, I want a flip phone, but you don't?
I don't know.
No, you remember the old,
I know.
Yeah, did you have a flip phone?
Of course.
I guess everybody did. Well, people watching this maybe younger, they don't know what a flip phone is. Actually, true story, talking about phones.
So, no, this is different.
What's that?
No, it's a battery thing,
So I was going to have you tell that story. Tell the story. This is a funny story.
So these young kids, I have a very good idea. What if we can change the battery when it's ran out?
That's a great idea. Why didn't anyone think about changing the battery on your phone? Now, if you're older, you get the joke. You totally get the joke, right? So, and I guess, you want to explain the joke to young people?
That's what we use today.
Yeah. So companies basically screw you these days. So we used to be able to flip our phone. We used to be able to change our battery on our phone. So it was in the past you would take a spare battery with you for your phone. So it is what it is. But going back to the phone thing, though, if I said, Yeji, your phone now is $1,000. And if I could get a new phone for $1,200, so $200 more, would you take the AI? Is it something that you want, like a really good version of Siri? basically, or you could talk to it more. Do you use Siri that much now?
I don't. Personally, I don't really use Siri.
And I don't use Siri, but Siri doesn't work very good. So theoretically, if it worked good, we would
But some
use it.
people using it, you know, like like a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just ask, you know, turn on, turn off the light, and open the curtain.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep, they do.
And just turn on the AC, you know, something like that.
And we both saw the what's that? Yeah, they do the stuff on their phone.
Yeah, and you know, the navigate.
Oh, navigation. Yep.
Phone call, texting, of course.
Yeah, some people are into the vocal texting. I still like a, you know, type in my fingers, that kind of stuff. But that's, and it leads to the next question I was thinking about is like, do you remember the movie Her with Scarlett Johansson and Joaquin Phoenix as his name?
It's already here. Those kind of things.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't seen that movie, please see it. I think it's a fantastic movie. I think the AI stuff, because you just mentioned it, I think people want a friend.
It's already here, so we do have a lot of reality show in Korea. So they're showing the kind of unmarried men. They're about the 50. They're using the AI kind of girlfriend. Do you love me? You know, it's funny thing is, you know, we do have Samsung, you know, AI.
Yeah.
So when you ask for example, do you love me? They give certain answer, but after deep learning, they start giving different answers.
It's already here. And I don't know if Koreans are doing this, but it was in the USA. There was a report where like you can have the computer sort of scan your voice, scan your image, and then you form your own company, and then people can have a relationship with you, but like an AI version of you for like $100 a month.
This is those different thing.
Okay, yeah.
I just read some posts, some community. And when someone call you, they don't really say anything. They just wait for you or you saying something like 여보세요, blah blah blah, and then record your voice.
Oh no!
Then they are using that for voice phishing to your parents and friends.
Oh no!
So
no!
Says, you know, when
you're giving people ideas out there.
Oh no.
No, it's fine.
So
okay,
when,
yeah.
You know, when someone's call you, don't say anything. You don't respond.
Wow.
Yeah.
So if you're ever curious how good Koreans are at scamming people, if you thought the American YouTubers are good, so we don't really have scammy YouTubers here that much compared to the Americans, but scammy phishing calls, that is actually a major problem in Korea. For whatever reason, like all the banks warn you all the time, and then I get a lot of scammy text messages. I can't speak to USA because I can't speak to, but you guys can let me know if you're getting scammy texts and scammy calls. It's always like, hey, if you want the hottest, you know, crypto picks, click this link. Don't click it. And the other thing too, what's interesting about Korea, which I think would be different than USA, we get texts and calls from outside the country that are scams, because your phone will tell you this is coming from outside Korea. So I don't know if you guys ever get a phone call and says, hey, this is coming from outside the U.S. border, or say not just Americans, but let's say you live in England, Australia, Germany, whatever. If your company that you use with your phone tells you it's coming from outside, and it's often a scam. So I had to bring that up. And then the other thing too, what's interesting about Korea, we're talking about scams because there's a lot of topics on this channel. When you get a scam call, it'll often be a 070.
Yeah.
What is that? What does that signify?
No, that is internet code.
Yeah.
But that is
that a law that it has to be like that?
I don't know. That's the company, you know.
So you know by the number that it's coming from an internet.
So it's not 070 doesn't mean scam, but people don't really answer it. It doesn't mean it's a scam.
It just means coming from the internet.
Yeah, internet.
Phone.
It can be just company like your insurance company.
Right. Not just scam, but it could just be
just company calling.
Spam. Well, okay. So what did we call we used to call this telemarketing. So in USA back in the 1980s, I want to say, because I remember I grew up in this time, it was a massive problem. We used to have phones in our home, and they would always call you at dinner, without fail. You get like 2 or 3, and they try to sell you something, and you never know like how they got your number, like how did you get this number? So back then, I think the phone companies used to sell people's phone numbers. Like
you guys didn't have a phone book.
we did, but I don't. Oh, maybe they did it that. Who knows? Who knows how they did it?
We used to have the phone book.
Yeah, we did. The paper book.
Yeah.
I don't know if they were. Okay, so this is actually kind of a funny story. I know we started on one topic and then we're going to other topics. But when we were kids, we had a friend who had a phone that could connect like three-way calling. And so what we would do, we'd call one random stranger and then connect them to another random stranger, and then we'd see if they talk to each other. Stupid stuff you do when you're kids, right? and then,
it's better than calling fire station.
Well, the dream was always like, hello? Why are you calling me? No, you called me. Why are you calling? The stupid stuff you do when you're a kid, but it was really fun in high school. Dumb stuff. Okay, anyway, so going back to the AI thing though, I think this will be a conversation that we're going to have going forward about how much our computers in our lives, the AI is in our life, and do we want it? Guys, please share your comments and questions in this. We'll do this again and share our thoughts on this. It's fun to keep this conversation going because this is not going to end.
No.
This conversation, this is just getting started. So anyway, be careful out there with AI, and we'll catch you on the next video. So say goodbye.
Bye.